Hello fellow Minecraft addicts, Jarbo here. I have been busy off camera. So let me turn this around and I'll show you a little bit of what I've done. So if we go down here, you can see that I upgraded our primary boring machine so that it can fill in the blocks all the way around it, including in front of it. There's deployers here that put blocks through all the drills in front of it, so if there's an airspace there or lava or water, it'll fill that in before it goes through and then just remine them. What this leaves us with is a clean tunnel that has no water, no open caves, and no lava in it. And as you can see by the netherrack all the way around here, I used that in the nether. But before I used this one, I made this one. And what this does is it places these deep slate bricks all the way around and makes a nice clean nether tunnel. And I'm using that to make like travel tunnels in the nether, and then I'm using the other one to do strip mining in the nether. We'll jump over to the nether and I'll show you what we have. Okay, so now that we're in the nether, you can see I've got these nice clean tunnels, and I'll just go into the map, that I've gone pretty far in 3 directions. I haven't really gone that far in that direction, but there's no lava in these tunnels. Mobs do spawn in here because it doesn't spawn proof them, but that's okay because we get a little bit of loot here and there. Run into some interesting mobs in the nether. We're not going to make this video about that, but maybe someday we'll do a video of exploring the nether and seeing all the different mobs that you get with all these mod packs that are on here. Now that we're back in the overworld, you can see that I've changed my villagers around a little bit, and I was working on this a little bit, and on my way over to the village where I'm getting the villagers, I actually kind of set up a little makeshift villager breeder, just a house with a couple villagers in it, a whole bunch of beds, and lots of food. But on my way over there, I passed that pillager outpost that I had passed several times, and I thought, well, I want to explore this. So I started killing pillagers and killed a captain, of course, and then forgot and came back here and started a raid in my base. And by in my base, I mean in my base. Like, they were spawning right over there. And then they were coming straight over here, I guess because they could sense the villagers, and they would gather right here in this corner. And eventually, I was trying to kill the raid because I figured, you know, might as well. Well, then eventually there was witches, evokers, inquisitors, and illusionists, and there's a whole bunch of different pillagers that spawn with the raids with this mod pack, and they ended up down here and they killed all of my villagers that I had here, which was the librarians and a couple of the farmers. I can't remember if I'd moved the farmers yet or not. They didn't get any of my masons, which was nice. So I ended up taking the mason that was here that had the clay ball trade, and I moved him over into the villager breeder and got a new mason there so we can have all brick and ash brick trades there. For trades on these villagers, I've got Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4, Silk Touch, Mending, Fortune, and Smite 5. I just rolled them till I got a useful trade that was a decent price and stuck with those. I also moved the farmer villagers over into the little house on the end, or the workshop, or whatever you want, the powerhouse, whatever you want to call this area, the storage area on the end of our farm here, because all of our crops end up in these drawers here, and it was really hard to trade with the farmers by having to run back over there and get the crops every time. So, or run over here and get the crops and run back and trade with the villagers. So I just moved them all over here, and I've been doing a bunch of trading with the farmers to get a bunch of emeralds, and I have quite a few. I don't remember exactly how many. And then I also added a couple more mods. I added the backpack mod, or the sophisticated backpack mod, mostly because, as you can see, I went and raided a ancient city, and there's a lot of blocks when you start raiding an ancient city, and this obviously isn't all of them, but mostly because when you take potions of night vision with a regular backpack, you can only fit, 27, but then your inventory is full. With this, with these stack upgrades, you can actually stack potions, and I haven't figured out what the upper limit is, but like, you get all these potions of regeneration in the ancient cities, so they stack, and that's nice. So yeah, and if you look down here, you can see that these stacks, it allows a lot. And this all came from terraforming for our project that we're going to work on today. Jarbo from the future here. I just wanted to say that this build was inspired by my daughter, who said, "Dad, just gather all the materials and build a house like everyone else does in Minecraft." I am tired of living in this cave and having everything all in here. It's all cramped. I don't have enough room for storage. I'm having to work around, turn around the sides, and I just need to upgrade the storage. And I'd like to have a, I don't know, like a kitchen area, because there's a lot of cool recipes with the Farmer's Delight mod that I just don't have anywhere to cook them. So I worked on an area over here, kind of overlooking our whole valley, which is eventually going to be like a whole valley full of farms. But right up here is where I think we're going to build our house. And I have a picture that I found on the internet, and I'll throw that on the screen now. That is my inspiration for building like a farmhouse, mountain cottage type of build. But as you can see here, all this stuff should be loaded when we're in our house, so we can keep all of our farms, and we'll just expand our farms out and around this valley. And then we can also put some up here on top of the mountain eventually if we want to. But that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to build our starter house right here, and we're going to try to make it look like that picture I just showed you. Okay, so here is the blocks that I'm thinking that I'm going to use for this build. I don't really like the rough stone, so we're going to get rid of that one. I think that the rough andesite is too bright for this build, so we're going to get rid of that one. So that leaves us with rough cobble, rough tuff, and rough mossy cobblestone. And I think between the three of those, we should be able to get enough texture and maybe add a couple of smoother versions of that in here and there to look like, you know, bigger stones or whatever in the foundation. But I think I'm going to go ahead and outline the whole foundation with the rough cobblestone, and then we'll decide from there how we're gonna texture it. So I wanted to show you one other upgrade that we have. We have this auto or advanced refill upgrade, and if we turn that on, you can see over here that right now I have it set to refill my torches in my offhand, and that works well. And then also, if we take all of our rough cobblestone that we created and put it in here, we can also take and add this to the filter. And now, as we place blocks, it's going to keep this as a full stack of rough cobblestone, so we don't have to keep going back into our inventory and grabbing another stack. So I'm going to go build that foundation. It'll probably be a time. Okay, I think that's the rough layout of our house. I may have not recorded as much as I wanted to in this little build here, but I'm gonna turn around and show you guys what I've done. So it doesn't match that picture exactly. This side over here is a lot different, and it's kind of a mirror image anyway, but I'm really happy with how the outside of this building turned out. I still have to do some lights and some more details on the outside. This looks kind of very plain up here. I maybe put some more windows in up there, but I'm really happy with the overall look of this building. It turned out amazing. This is probably the coolest thing I've ever built in Minecraft. So I'm going to go ahead and obviously I came too far forward with it. I should have started further back, but I need to do some terraforming out here. I'm going to get that all done, and then we'll work on doing the details on the outside of the building. I have a confession to make. It's been, I don't know, like 3 real life days since I've worked on this, and it's because I'm kind of at a loss for what to do with the inside, because I moved all this storage over here, and I recorded a bunch of this, but it's really not exciting, so I'm not going to probably put any of that in the video. But yeah, I don't like it. It doesn't fit with the build. It doesn't fit in this room. I think this is all going to have to go away, but I don't really have anywhere else to put it. So for right now, we're just going to ignore the inside of the building and try to finish working on the outside. We need to do a little bit more landscaping. As you can see, I moved my mining contraption up here so that it empties directly into that storage system. And let me show you what I've been doing while I've been putting off what I really need to do, and that's finish building this house. so that I can properly move into it. I mean, I don't really have to go down here for anything now except for experience because I've moved everything else up there. Well, and the nether portal, which is up here. And then the villagers are also still over here, so they've been getting ignored instead of constantly traded with like I used to, so I probably need to move them into the house. I think they will go into the house. Like I said, the storage is going to have to go somewhere else. But in the meantime, I have mined a lot of the nether with my little drill contraption. As you can see, I've just been going back and forth between these two. And I also have realized that this is probably not the best, most efficient way to get ancient debris, which is really what I was after, just because, I don't know, it's hard to get, and that's what I do when I'm at a loss for something else to do, is I just go mining, and now I just get a lot more mined in a much shorter time than I used to with the pickaxe. But let me go up here and show you. I think I've got almost 10 blocks of netherite at this point, which is pretty good. But I think for the amount of time that I spent in there, if I just build like a chunk destroyer that I can send down from the top of the world, will be a much better solution. I am gonna have to eventually quit keeping the netherrack because this storage door is completely maxed out, and this one is about 10% full. So I just, you know, once I get those two full, that's almost 1 million netherite blocks. I don't think I'll need any more than that. So anyhow, let's work on the outside of this build. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my contraption here and the associated things to be able to offload it. I also think that I'm going to need to finish clearing this out, and unfortunately all of my contraptions that I have now not only destroy blocks, but they all place blocks, and I really don't want to add any more blocks up here, so I might have to either build a new contraption or just do this manually. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'll probably end up building another contraption because it's pretty painful to mine the old-fashioned way now after having had the create mining experience. It makes it so I really don't even want to use tools to mine anymore. Right, so I've decided that I have this drilling machine that is set to only place the stone or the deep slate bricks. So we're gonna set that up here and see if we can finish removing this level here, and then I might go one further over, and then we'll just have to taper the edge, but that gives us enough room to walk around our building here, and then our little house here, and then we can start doing some landscaping and making the outside of this build look a little better. Alright, try again. They placed cobblestone on this time, so that's better. Oh, it's not an accent here. But it's already in my inventory, I just forgot to put it in there. Alright, 15th try is the charm. Let's see if I can remember everything this needs to operate. And there. Now, yes, it's working. I don't know if it's going to be tall enough though. Actually, that's okay. We can clean up a few blocks. Alright, I'm gonna finish this. I'll check back in with you guys once I get it done. We got the terraforming done. I mean, it's passable. It's not great. I'm not real good at terraforming, so I'm happy with that. We're not worried about this side. Just this side over here, closest to the house. So now we need to do some things to try to make the outside of this house look more interesting. I'm gonna start by, I think I'm gonna add some of these pillars like that on this end and kind of finish off the end of the house over here. And then I also need to add this framed slab edge up there, but I can't reach, so I'm gonna have to get some scaffolding out. Have I mentioned how much I really like this backpack, the sophisticated backpack mod? I think I need to add a window on the end of the house over here, We're not going to be too concerned about what's in here right now because it's not staying in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and actually add the window right here at this level. I think I do eventually want to put a fireplace on the inside there, so I'm going to leave space in the middle for the fireplace. The front porch looks pretty good. This up here looks pretty boring, so I think I'm actually going to make this window a 3-wide window, and I think that'll finish off the upper area there. I'm really happy with how the front of the house looks. It could probably use, I don't know, maybe some vegetation or something like that. Let's go around and see how the back of the house looks. Oh, I need to add more of those blocks there on the transition from the 2 different types of materials. And then I think I probably need to figure out a pillar right there. I think for the last detail that we're going to add for right now, we're going to add a really big, like, bay window. Maybe we'll have to see if we can upgrade the view out the back of the house. Alright, let's go out and see how the outside looks. Alright, well, there is our house all completed. I added a little bit more detail with some shutters, and I think that's all I really added since the last clip, but I'm really happy with this. And now I need to figure out something to do on the inside, but first I have to get all that storage moved somewhere else. I think it's time to build a big storage warehouse something, but that is going to have to wait till the next episode.